what we're going to want to do is put this back in the center. So Shift S, cursor to center, and that'll put it back there. Then we're going to add in a mesh. It's going to be a plane. And if we go into edit mode, we're going to scale this plane down quite a bit. We can turn off that proportional editing if it's on. Okay, so we'll scale that plane down quite a bit. Just like that there. And we're going to go to edge mode and select this edge and this edge with the x-axis running that way. Okay, or it doesn't matter if it's running that way, but it doesn't matter which way it's running. Which ones we want is the ones that are parallel to the x-axis. Okay, and we're going to hit E, Z, and bring them down a bit. Doesn't really matter how far down you bring them. Just bring them down a short amount. Okay, so that's all good. We can edit out of, go out of that. And we're going to hit M and put that on this 5th layer for now. Okay, now we're going to bring some of these other layers back. This layer we're going to bring back. We're actually going to move this. We're going to bring back 2 layers. So you can shift click on both of these layers to highlight them both. And this layer we're going to move back that way just so it starts to intersect with this plane, and we're going to bring this one up a little bit and move it to there. Actually, we want to keep it at the origin for the time being. Now we're going to get just a little road happening on here. So what we're going to do is add a curve, and we'll add a NURBS curve. They're a little bit easier to work with, and that's going to go in the center there. Now we're going to go dot tab and hit 7 to go to above, and then 5 to go into orthogonal view. Okay, now we do not want to change this center bit here, and it shouldn't change. As soon as we move that, it shouldn't change. We're going to set this up over here somewhere. And just keep it, make sure that that active dot is there. We always want that active dot to be in the center. Now with this, which way does that go? It doesn't actually matter because we can reverse the path. We're just going to create a road. So, oops. So to create an additional point, we just control click in these different parts. It looks like switch direction. Switch direction. I want it to be going that way. And I'll just go back to these starting points here. So this one here, if you're in 7 or Control 7, make sure you can see it. It's not actually a big deal if we bring this up. So if we select everything and bring it up. Bring it up. 7, go into top view. And scroll down. The only thing we have to make sure we don't change is that. And as long as you're in edit mode, you shouldn't. Okay, 7 orthogonal view is number 5, and then we can make our road. So what we're going to do is switch direction to start with. Grab this handle, hit G, and bring it out here. We can move these handles around. Okay, we just want a pretty relaxed, chill road. And that's going to start here and come off the end. So Control click will bring more road points out. Try and keep the distance from each section equal. If it's not equal, you can always select 2 and subdivide it, like that there and that there, and subdivide it, and that'll get you also straight sections as well. Okay, so we're going to bring that out to there, and then to there, and then there, and then there, and then there, and then there. Okay, so we'll go off the end here. Some of these I might subdivide. I could select the whole thing and click some of these subdivide, which will make it a little bit straighter in parts, but I might not do that. I'll click smooth, and that's pretty good there. Okay, so going back into here, this and this both have the same active center, and that's important to note. What I'm going to do with this here is I'm going to grab that plane that I had before. So I'm going to bring that back, control click, whoops, shift click, sorry, on those three things there. And that plane should be under there. It's really tiny. If you can't find it, it should be at the top here. It's called plane, and we might rename it to road. Now I've got to get this part right because I made a mistake last time, and I'm going to make a copy of that. So I'm just going to hit Shift D, and I should have road 1, which I'm going to call path cut. Okay, so I'll keep the roads separate. Path cut, what I'm going to do is, I just have to remember this. Let's see. I'm going to shrink wrap this, the curve. I'm going to use shrink wrap, and I'm going to shrink wrap it to the grid. The first grid that I did, which is grid 1. Okay, so that goes onto there. I want to project it onto it. And I want to use negative z-axis, and ignore that over there, and over there as well. And I'll just turn that part off. Okay, so I've got that curve going over my road. Now, with that done, this is a little bit of a tricky part. What I want to do is select the path cut, and I want to add a modifier, an array modifier. I want to use fit curve, and I want to fit the NURBS curve. That's going to create enough pathway for that to fit onto that curve. And then I'm going to go curve modifier and select the NURBS curve. Okay, so that's done that there. Now, I'll just try and shrink wrap this to the grid. Like that. And I'll make sure it's projected. And Z only, negative. And we'll ignore that for now. We'll probably end the curve here if we can. Or maybe we'll extend that out that way and that way. The limit, no, I don't want that. Offset is going to be 2. Now this path, if I zoom into it, should have those edges on it. If I go down to this here, it doesn't seem to have them on it. So I might see. No, okay, I'll remove that from there for now. What I'm going to do is click on this and add a modifier to this. This is the mesh here. I'm going to add a shrink wrap modifier to this, and I'm going to target the path cut. It's going to be project, and it's going to be negative and z-axis. Now, front and back, no. Oh, the reason it's doing that is I need to first add a subdivision surface modifier to this, and I'll probably turn it up 2 or 3 times, like that. And I'm just going to bring this down, so I don't want that offset to be as high. Okay, but I don't want it to be too big. So what it's going to do, it's going to cut a path for my road. Okay, so the road's going to have a path cut on it. I don't know if I actually want this part done. I think I might leave it off, because this road here, I'm going to move. Oh, you see as I move that down. Yeah, I don't think I want that there. So I'm going to go back to there, get rid of that, put the shrink wrap modifier on this, shrink wrap that to the grid, and those settings, nearest surface, keep above surface, project negative Z. Okay, and that should do that. And if I offset it by a little bit, I should be able to keep. Not sure why it's going a bit funny, but we'll just change the material, add a material to it, new material. I'll make it orange, so that's all good. That's all good there. It looks like when it goes down there, it's getting deformed, but I can fix that. That is because in edit mode for this, I actually moved this upwards instead of down, so I will add that back. I know that's at the right location. That's good. So what did I move? It might have been the NURBS curve. NURBS curve, tab. I moved that up. So I'll move that back down. And I can always change the location of it here, 0. Change it to there. I'll go into 7, top view, and orthogonal. And I want to really get rid of this bit here. Okay, so, and just bring it onto there. Same with this one. I don't want it to be too far out. Might just actually delete that one and bring that one onto here. That one further. Oh, that'll do. I'll just position my camera so that I can't actually see it. Okay, so that's done that there. This road, I might add another modifier to it. And that modifier will be add modifier, solidify. And I can change and I'll just hit the full stop to zoom in on it. I want this to be thick. I don't want it to go all odd like that though. I don't want it to go inside out. I'll just leave that as 0. No, whatever the default is. I am kind of making this up as I go along, but most of the time I can get it done. Flip normals, even thickness, no. High quality, only rim, outer, no. That'll do for now. I'm just going to leave that road as it is. Okay, so I've got my road over the hills, and we'll put some texture on that later. Okay, so the main thing to take away from that was you draw your path, you draw your road, you set up the road with an array modifier and a curve modifier, and that'll give that all the way out there. Then you shrink wrap the NURBS thing to the curve, but everything should be at have the same active center, and if it doesn't, that's when you get the odd thing. So if I find that NURBS model, NURBS curve, if I take that over here, you see that things go a bit odd. If I grab this and move it, once again, odd things happen. And if I grab this and move it, well, that's just to do with the shrink wrapping of it. Okay, so those 3 things, NURBS curve, I'll move them all back to where they should be. Path cut, I'll just leave the road for there. And the grid should all be on the same active element here. To bring this road up, what I think I might do is apply this, and apply this, go into edit mode, and extrude the entire thing up along the Z-axis by just a very tiny amount. Okay, that'll give me that thick road. I'm not actually going to do that yet though, and you shouldn't do it either, because bring those back, because we haven't applied a texture to it, and we don't want to apply a texture to everything. We just want to apply it to one thing, which is that little road bit, or the path cut. We don't need the road anymore, and leave the rest. All right, so we can save that. Go ahead and save that.